What is up, guys? DZ Fear, and a couple months back, new Spirit support actually got announced or leaked, I suppose. I did a video on it, and honestly, I was super surprised because I never really thought that Spirits would get any more support. For those of you that don't know, this is like one of the first decks that I actually cared about. I got my first regional top 8 with Spirits. I took it to my first YCS that I ever played in and bubbled. But I love Spirits. I always have. I played him for almost. I feel like I played him for like 8 months straight in 2014. Basically from February all the way to maybe even more than 8 months. But I played it for a long time in 2014, and I had a lot of fun. It was one of my favorite decks that I ever played, and I always tried to reinvent it each time a new format came around. But eventually, they just got over. Outclassed, really. Satellar Knights basically were doing what they were doing. However, in Raging Tempest, we got a ton of spirit monsters and spells and traps, and I kind of wanted to do a deck profile on them because, I have to. It's my legacy. But yeah, I like these cards a lot. I'll kind of talk about them as we go along. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the main attackers, or the main new cards, I suppose, are ritual spirits. So we have a Shino Baron and a Shino Baroness, and they're both really cool. So they are rituals and they are spirits. It's the first time it's ever happened. So they will bounce back to the hand during the end phase. However, you do get two for 1500 attack and defense wing beast level 4 tokens to sort of uh, tip the scales back into your favor as far as card economy goes. But basically, it's not just you summon this and then they bounce back to your hand and you lose like 2 cards. You at least get the tokens that we'll do some stuff with in a sec that I'll talk about later. But more importantly, when they're summoned, they have pretty incredible effects. So Baron, which we were playing 3 of, it bounces back up to 3 monsters on your opponent's side of the field to their hand. And then you can special a level 4 spirit from your hand, or level 4 or lower spirit from your hand, with ignoring the summoning conditions. It's really good because neither of these effects target, so you can really just screw with your opponent. If they have like 5 monsters and they're gonna like dodge some effects, you don't have to pick which ones you're bouncing until the effect is resolving. And then Baroness does a similar thing. So she shuffles back up to 3 back row into your opponent's deck, and then you can special summon a level 4 lower spirit from your deck. However, the reason I'm playing 3 Baron is because you actually do need to do the shuffle or the bounce to get the special summon, and that means that this is going to go off a lot more because your opponent's a lot more likely to have monsters than they are back row. I would definitely side deck a copy of this just in case you're playing against a deck like, I don't know, like Paleozoics or something that has like a lot of back row. But in general, this one's just better and more reliable to play, and it does have 500 more attack points, so yeah, definitely worth playing. But you have basically constant access to both of these. Beyond that, we do have 3 Aratama. It feels so good to be playing this card again, but Aratama is literally just a Stratos for spirits. That's pretty much all it does. Yeah, it's a really solid card. Not once per turn, too, because they don't really expect you to like summon or flip spirits face up more than once per turn. But you'll see in a minute that we have a couple ways of doing that. We're also playing 3 Nikitama. This one, we're actually not normal summoning this a lot, but we are using it for ritual summons. We are sending it to the graveyard a lot, so it's definitely worth still playing 3 of. But yeah, not as important to get the normal summon off as it once was. One of the new cards is Shinobird Crane. So Crane is sort of like Nikitama, but basically when it's on the field and you normal or special summon a spirit, you get to draw a card. Pretty straightforward. It actually has all the stats of the tokens that the monsters summon as well. I don't think this card is fantastic at 3. I don't think there's a lot of times where just searching Nikitama is better, because Nikitama you can just keep using as many times per turn as you want. This is once per turn. This card's still definitely good, and it still has its uses. There are some combos that come up where getting this draw is easier than getting the Nikitama draw. So yeah, I still like it at 2, but you don't really need 3. And then lastly, for the spirits, 1 copy of Izanami. So this card is just a monster reincarnation for spirits. You just swap a card out of your hand for a spirit in the grave. You can always just like loop Nikitama, so that's what the old play was, because Nikitama gets you a draw when it goes to the grave and you have a spirit. So if you have 1 in hand, 1 in grave, you can just keep swapping them and get like a free +1 every turn. That's probably a little too slow for modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But mainly you're discarding Nikitamas to add back the ritual monsters. That's sort of what you're doing. But definitely a solid one of. Next, we're playing 3 Manju. Rituals are really important for this deck, and as you can see already, we have like so many +1 effects that it's just ridiculous. Like the Aratamas, the Nikitamas, even the Cranes and the Manjus, all of these are just like +1 effects. So yeah, you can really accelerate through your deck really fast. But yeah, Manju's really good at 3. I can't see playing any less than 3 because the ritual summons are quite important for pushing through boards. We are playing 1 Garnet. Brilliant Fusion is actually just insane in this deck. Obviously, Brilliant Fusion or Gemini Strathknight and Nikitama don't stack, but the main play is that you're like summoning a spirit monster, activating Brilliant Fusion, and get rid of the Nikitama in deck, and then you're drawing a card. So it's a free draw, and then we have so many effects that trigger on normal summon that it's just really good to have that extra one. So yeah, the 1 Garnet though, I don't want to play 2. We are playing some hand traps, so 2 Max C and 2 Ghost Ogre. You are drawing a ton of cards in this deck, as you can already tell. I mean, you can use so many Nikitama effects in one turn. It's just crazy. So drawing into these is definitely key. Yeah, I just really like these cards. Ghost Ogre especially is really good right now, so those 4 are good. And then lastly for the monsters, we're playing 2 Gamma Seal. This is sort of like what you do with Kieran and Metaphos when you play Gamma Seal. You just you special summon this over an opponent's monster, and then in this deck you're bouncing it back with the Baron. That's pretty good. You're just getting like a free kaiju every single turn, so I like that a lot. Next, we are playing 3 of the Ritual spell. So basically, this card is really cool because it can ritual summon either of the rituals that you're playing, but it mentions them both by name, so we can play pre-preparation of rites. But also, instead of tributing monsters from your hand or field, you can also banish spirits from your graveyard. So, like I said, with that Brilliant Fusion play, you can send a Nikitama, get a draw, and then banish it from the grave to ritual summon. So it's sort of like Necroz's Mirror in that way. But yeah, this is definitely a staple 3 of. We also are definitely playing 3 preparation of rites, or pre-preparation of rites, I should say. This card's just incredible. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if like a deck could be more made for me, because like we have like spirits, I love those. We have pre-prep, I love that. We have Brilliant Fusion, I love that. Yeah, it's just like a deck that was made for me, but pre-preparation is definitely an auto 3 of. We also were playing 3 Brilliant Fusion. Brilliant Fusion's good, obviously. There's no reason not to play 3, so yeah, we're playing that. We're only playing 2 Pot of Desires. I actually wasn't going to play this at all, but I don't want to be that scrubby. But one of the problems with this deck is that there's no way to recover the Ritual spell card from Grave. So it's actually not an issue. It's weird, because it's like, you'd think it'd be an issue like trying to meet the requirements to Ritual summon, but it's really not. You can plus a ton with this deck, so like you always have enough cards to like tribute or banish or whatever. But getting to the actual Ritual spell after you use it is impossible. So basically you only have 3 summons max, well 4 that we'll talk about in a second. So if you banish like one of the Ritual spells with this, or 2 of the Ritual spells with this, you're like in a really bad spot. However, I understand that Pot of Desires is like way too good not to play, so we're playing 2 at least. We're also playing 2 Shinobird Power Spot. So this guy's kind of neat. It gives your monsters 500 attack and defense, and then when a spirit is bounced to the hand, you can like add a Ritual spell card or a spirit from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. Once again, I really wish this added from the graveyard to the hand, because we don't have a lot of recovery on the Ritual spell, but just to add a consistency is definitely appreciated. We're only playing 2 because it is a hard once per turn, so there's no reason to ever have more than 1, but I want to see 1 sometimes, so yeah, we're playing that. Moving on to the traps, we're playing 2 Icarus Attack. So Icarus Attack is cool in this deck because you can tribute the tokens that the rituals leave behind, but also the Shinobird Crane is actually the one that you want to special summon from your hand, because its effect then will net you more draws, so you can tribute it with Icarus Attack then too as well. But I just like this card a lot right now. Just like popping 2 cards is actually really good, so yeah, I like Icarus Attack. One of the cooler cards we're playing is Urgent Ritual Art. I don't know how I feel about this card, because like we're only playing 1. Basically what this does is that you can banish a ritual spell on your grave, and then this card becomes that effect. So the idea is that first of all, the idea is that you're getting a 4th copy of the ritual spell, but also you're now able to use either of your ritual effects on your opponent's turn. So in either of these cases, you're either bouncing back 3 monsters or shuffling back row in the end phase, and it's just really good and like a total blowout. You start your turn with the tokens, and then you just ritual summon them again using the tokens. But yeah, I like this a lot. I mean, this card's really good. The only downside of this card is that it's not really good going first, because it's like super telegraphed, because like if you just like ritual summon the guys just to get the ritual spell in grave, you're not like shuffling anything back or bouncing anything, so like you just pass with tokens. And I suppose if your opponent doesn't know what this card does or hasn't seen it in the match yet, they won't know what's happening. But if after like the first time you do that, they're gonna like obviously know that you have this. And maybe it's just like too good to where like it doesn't matter if it's telegraphed. I don't know. So I don't really know if I want to play like 3 copies or 2 or 3 copies or just stick with the one. But for now, we're just playing one because I'm testing it. But it's actually just like a total blowout when it resolves. And lastly, they have their own trap card. Basically, when a spirit monster is bounced to the hand, you can pop a card your opponent controls, and then also this can negate a battle once per turn with a spirit monster. So yeah, this card's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. For the extra deck, we have Daigusto Emerald, Castel, Abyss Dweller, Karna Gorgon, Lightning Chidori just in case you have 2 Cranes, Rhapsody and Berserk, Giant Hand for some defense, Gaga Cowboy, Diamond Direwolf, both Utopias. And then we're playing the rank 8 Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon and Cypher. I always like this combo and decks up can make a rank 8. It's really good for like pushing through fields. And then 1 Omega. I know it might not seem like it comes up and it might seem like I'm just shoehorning this card in here. It's really good because you can put back the banished spirit monsters that you banished for the ritual spell. And obviously you can summon this when you have Ghost Ogre and Seraphonite. And then lastly, the Seraphonite is our last card. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I really do like spirits. I think this deck actually is a pretty good rogue contender. I don't know if I'll try to take it to an event or not, but yeah, it's a lot of fun if you, especially if you've been looking to play spirits for a while, and it can catch people off guard. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you later. Bye.